Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stock report for the 22nd of September. And our first stock is Atlassian, and I know that we're going by alphabetical order, but alphabetical order by stock code. So it makes it a little bit just a spanner in the works if you're tracking it. So, an Australian software company, and it's on our list. So we've got clear 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3, a triangle pattern for wave 4 here, as a triangle pattern in here, and then wave 5 up here for wave 3. And then I'm thinking of this as an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, and then up for wave 5 here. So it is possible that wave 4 just could be a little bit like this complicated one in here, and we could actually just have wave 4 sitting over here as well for that. So I'm not quite sure about this. The other point here too is, let's just say that this is wave 5 of 1 here. Well, then we would need an A and a B wave and a C wave here for wave 2. So this move down here appears to be the A wave, and then an A and a B and a C wave coming up here. So we'd still need to see 5 waves up here. So we would look for 5 waves here. It looks like we've got 1 and 2, and we've got wave 3 and wave 4 and wave 5 here. So we'll have that top in play here as 5 waves, and then if it's going to be bullish, it's going to pull back in 3 waves, and then it's going to move up again from there. So we'll be able to go long through here and here on this, and if it fades down to here, well, then we'll be looking for 5 waves here, and then we can move in long over this side over here. So even though I don't know what's going on, one of these outcomes is going to play out, and then we can just pick up the thread from that point. Or you can pick up the thread from that point. So the box is the 50-60% retracement level, and you want to be tracking 5 waves up through here. So wave 1 and 2 are in here. This will be the 3rd wave, so there'll be 4 and 5 here. So yeah, that's how that will play out. Let's move along to our next stock. This company here is the supplier of automatic test equipment, supplying products to large companies like Samsung. So I'm a little bit unsure about this wave 4 here. Is I can count a 5-wave structure to here, to here, to here. But it doesn't really, if wave 2 is simple, then wave 4 needs to be complex. But even though, if I take wave 2 low here, for example, and take it to the high here, we're already at a 50% retracement level here at this point here. So as a wave 4, we should really only come down to the 38.2 point there. I can understand it sort of, dropping to this point, and that would be fine as well. So a bit of a rock and a hard place here. But the main takeaway here for this is that it is a good stock. We're way above the previous COVID highs here from Feb. But I don't have a setup here just yet. So we'd be looking for a classic trading levels pattern to be sitting in this space, and it would be like this here. So we would need that 80 there to become the support. So we would still need to see this pattern here. We need to arrive there first, then a reaction, the first high above the level, blah, 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 and we're sitting over here. So from resistance, a whole lot of emotional outcomes, and then support over here. So a lot of blood, sweat and tears through this section here, and that would take us up from that point. But at the same time, let me just check on the 4-hour chart, see what I've done on that point. Yeah, I'm still sort of looking, wave 3 can be wave C, so we can have it as an A and a B and a C wave here. So I'm aware of that. But at the same time too, I'd also need to be aware of this larger impulse wave moving in this space. So let's just give this time. We don't need to do anything here at the moment, We'll either trade this from the 80 area here upwards, or we'll be trading it from the 72 here. The other level down here is 65, of course. So nothing really to be had here at this point in time. Lendingtree here is just an online lending marketplace, connects borrowers with lenders for money, insurance, so on. Anyway, it's got a great model, and if this is a pretty clean count up here, I'd say. So wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave. So the fourth wave would pull back the 40%, 38.2%. So that would take us to where it is here now, the wave 4 of 1 lesser degrees over here. But normally when you get an extension in the fifth wave here, you can normally look at the wave 4. It's not pulling back to the low of the previous wave 4, but to the high of the third wave. But either way, what we could say here is that would be our long trade at that point. So these are trades, not portfolio holds at this stage. So on the 4-hour chart, just check on that. So I've counted 5 waves down here. I just need to correct this a little bit if that's cool for timing here. I think we're okay. So we don't know if this is actually just complete. It looks like 5 waves up there, but that also looks like 5 waves down. So I'm happy with all of that. So I'm just going to put this here as the A wave, the B wave. And probably there's a little bit more to come in here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But yeah. So I need to change these to green, but that's okay. So we're not set up here yet. I don't want to buy on the lows in case, we can't confirm the lows on the S&P and the NASDAQ just yet. The NASDAQ looks like the low is in, but the S&P doesn't at this stage. So we need to consider those at the moment. But anyway, this is in the right track for confirming. And we want to move on to the next stock. So I can just move this up into that space there. So we're just thinking really that, at minimum here, we should just see we should see a build up on this side over here for that. But it's not there yet for this. And yeah, we don't have that set up yet. Okay, let's move along. Trimble is a California-based hardware, software, service technology company, global industries in play. Now, what I've done here is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, A, B, C for 2 here, bit of a running correction, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for third wave, fourth wave. Now, if I use 1 and 2 here, then I can use all of this as the third wave here and the fourth wave and the fifth wave. If I have to put wave 1 here, if wave 4 comes and sits over here, which is partly valid, then it gives me the top here of this case here. Either way, once again, this would be, I know everybody wants to buy low and sell high, but I like to get a safer trade happening. So we need to buy new highs. That's my motto: sell new lows, buy new highs, and that will get you pretty much on the right side. So we're at the 50, which is a major trading level 5. We've got our little correction here for this, and we can get a better position than this, but we need to see this market sit back on the 50 for that. So if you see that and it's sitting there nicely on the 50, then you can scale in through 51, 52 and 53. But even if this count is right here, in terms of risk reward, we're not going to be going very far, because if this count is correct, I could extend it out further. I could just, as an example here, put this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then have all of this as wave 3, 4 and 5. So we can expand it up, and stay within the rules, because everything is easier in hindsight, and hindsight is good for practical lessons. And this is just thinking a little bit ahead of of that. And there's a good case for this too, because if this is wave 1 here and 2 here, then this is quite a nice long drawn out wave 3 here. This would be wave 3 sitting over here for that. So we just need to be mindful about that. But in a way, it kind of doesn't matter in a way, because if we get the 50 as support, we're going to be on the right side at the right time. And then if there is going to be further upside, then we're going to get that anyway. So we're doing all the right things at the right time. Okay, let's move on. Now I've got this stock on the list here. We may ditch it because it hasn't really moved above its previous highs here in this, but they've got 65,000 clients, and they've got 1 billion individual customers in over 30 countries. So they're a credit processing consumer company, but in terms of their pattern here, I just find it rather sluggish in a way. You know, we could count it up as 5 waves, as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Then we're having some sort of A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here, and that would bring us back down to. And I don't mind having stocks, you know, even though this is actually moving down. We've got a lot of stocks that are moving up, so it's nice to have some other stocks in different directions for this. So, but we'll just keep it on board. I haven't labelled it yet because I can see that it would just leave people astray at this point. But what we can do with this is we can buy new highs. Now we should be able to get better new highs further down the track here. I can see that from here, I can see here that we've probably got an impulse wave here. I can see that this is an impulse wave. I can see that this is a corrective wave here. So it's probably likely that we'll see further downside here, but obviously we've got good support at 80 as well. We just need to see if it becomes the resistance here, and you know, it'd be nice if it comes down through here and then finds a setup here, then we can move in and move off, because a good correction is the accumulation process for the next distribution process, which is the trend. So we haven't got that yet with this, and I haven't labelled it because I didn't want to get into it at this particular point in time. Okay, let's move on to Tesla. This is Tesla on the weekly chart here. I mean, there's no doubt that it's in a bullish market. So we've got wave 1 and 2 over here. We've got wave 1 and 2 here. We could count this up here as a 5-wave structure up into the 700 mark here, 650 mark here, as a wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 of wave 3 and 4, and so on. So it's still $1,000 stock, even though it's had a 5-to-1 split. So let's go in and have a closer look and see what we know and what we don't know. So I was considering it like this from the March lows here of 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3, back for wave 4, and then moving up for wave 5. We have put forward that this here as 1 and 2, as 1 and 2 in this area, and 3 and 4 and 5 here as wave 1 top here as well. So we can put that there again because it is a possibility. So we've had that there before. Now the thing here is that well, that spike shouldn't be there. It's just a platform thing, so, or after hours thing, but we can count this move down here as being corrective. So it's pulled back to the wave 4 of 1 less degree. So we could put wave 4 in here. This is what we can either do, that, or we can look at this here as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. Let's just go to the 4-hour chart where we don't have that big spike in play here. It makes it look a bit better. So we can look at this as wave 4 completed here, and we can look at this just continuing to move to the upside here. Or we can look at all of this move down through here as the A wave here, and then the B wave here, and then the C wave down through here, which is probably not the case. Let's just put it this way. We could only turn bearish if the 400 became the retested resistance here. Okay, so if you're long, you stay long, and it would really need to, it would come down, bounce off it, and eventually come through and it'll lock under here. So then at that point, that would be coming back down to the wave 4 here as such, or even lower at that point to the 300, and then moving off from that point there. So this is what we've got. We've got to figure out, is this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 moving to the upside? Or do we have an ABC pattern there? It does look rather corrective within this particular space here. Let's just see if we go to the 15-minute chart and figure it out. Well, this is the 15-minute chart here. From the low here, it looks like we've got 3 waves up here. So an impulse wave here and here, and then here. We can't call this wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. We could, but there's a bit of an overlap here for this. So just, that's that's overlapping there. So that's probably not the right part of it. So we could look at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave to this point. But the problem with that is that we've got this pattern here that's corrective in nature. It's not like we've got a 5-wave structure down here. It's like we've got a 3-wave. We've got like an A wave here, and then we can either go an A, B, and C, or we could just go down for the A wave here, the B wave here, then down for 1, 2, and 3 and 4, and lost in translation for the wave 4 and 5 in here. But it's certainly not, see, this is an impulsive wave here. We're not getting any overlapping wave structures. So it's a nice smooth transition, the same as this here. So this looks corrective here. So it looks like it can move up further from that point. So it does look a bit bullish at that point. Just checking. So yeah, it looks bullish. We could really only turn bearish if the 400 here became the retested resistance at that point, because it would have overlapping wave structures at that point. So buy new highs, that would be the go. You can go long above that one there just to be sure, rather than just go long here. Go along above this high, then that will make that an A and a B and a C wave after that, because the way it stands at the moment, this could be counting. I can see it could be counted in other different ways. It also looks like 5 waves up here, but with an overlap as well, so it's a problem. So there's different ways to count this, but this strong move down through here, you want to be able to say to yourself, well, that's not bearish. The only way you can know that is if it takes that high here by 1 point, then it's not bearish, then it's part of this corrective move here. And if it takes out this high, well, then we can look to it to take out this high. We can look to it to move up to the 500 at that point. So that's where that is at the moment. So just recapping that, if that high goes out here, then you can expect the market to go to the 500 at that point. Otherwise, there is a chance, if it gets trapped under the 400, that we can move down in wave C here and then move up, which would be rather nice, really. Right, let's move on to the last stock, and that's Semiconductor Taiwan. Poor old Taiwan, stuck in the middle of, oops, I don't need that code. Stuck in the, being used as a pawn between America and China. But it's a valuable place. I mean, if whoever owns that really controls Japan and the Philippines and so on at that point. So anyway, all that's another interesting story. So the semiconductor business is really going through the roof. as you know, the Trump administration is putting a ban on chips going into China, and China's buying up chips everywhere across the world at the moment because they don't produce the quality that Huawei needs for their manufacturing products. So it's a real cut off at the legs for that. So from the March correction, we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. And then a correction here that could play out. This is what I think I might have even spoken about this last time that we spoke. We needed this high to come in here, and we just needed to wait at that point. We can go long above that high here, and if that's triggered, that will take us up to 100 at that point. Of course, it will spend time at 90 rather, which is a medium level. So we'll put this in here, but we'll probably be looking for a better position than this anyway. So let me just have a look on the 4-hour chart for this. Right, that's the way that I looked at it before. Okay. Well, I can see from the top here down to the bottom here we've got 5 waves. Sometimes you've got to use your imagination a little bit, but normally you can sort of spot something that you can recognize. So I can recognize this here as a corrective pattern. And then that, if that's wave 3 and 4 after a strong long move down here, then that's got to be wave 1 and 2 in here. But it hasn't made new highs here, new lows. So it's possible. First of all, what we need to do is just get in some parameters. So from there to there. So we could say that if the market found that top area there as the support, then it's bullish at that point and we'd be going up from there. But we need to be mindful that we just don't get 3 waves to this point here, and then we need to view that as wave 1, and then we come down for wave 3, 4 and 5 here for this, and then move off. So we can either get that or we can go long here. So that means that what we could do, that's roughly this, that's close to the 61.8% mark here. This number here, the 83 here, if we got a tested support on that with a classic trading levels pattern, once again, if this is 83 across here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, that's the one that we want. We're halfway at that point. Market folds back. We can go long above that one and that one. So that's kind of what we need to go long at the 83. Now it would be safer at the 61.8%, but that's really at the 50 here. So we can do that there at that point, I think. So that it will work out all right there. So so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some sort of, that will take us into the 61.8%, and then we can go long from that point, or you can go long from that point. So they're the 2 things that can happen. Just checking for other things. The levels down here, of course, are 78. And then if we've got 78, then that's the number 8 there, then we've got group 2. So the lower end of group 2 here would be 50, 76.50. Let me just put that in play here. And 72, which will be right in the middle here. So 72 will be 77.2. 15 there, right? I don't need to put that in, but that will offer us some support there at that point. So just to recap this, we don't know if we've got this or we've got this. I mean, if this wave 4 is going to be you know, an expanded flat type of thing, then the A wave down here and ABC up here makes it an expanded flat. It means that we should take out this this is normally 20%, and this would be 20% below this low here. So that would put us in the right thing there. Did we get the can't get any more data there. Let me just check on the we take it to the top of the third wave here, not the other one. So the 38.2% retracement is way down here. So, you know, that's something to be considered there as well. So we don't know if we've got it there or we've got it there. But it is in a bullish space at the moment. So we do need, you know, it is a good stock, and we need to buy new highs at this point. So I'm not very helpful, but we're just getting through these lists of stocks. And like I mentioned, when there's nothing to buy and then suddenly everything's for sale, everything is to buy. So you need to sort of work out what you'd like to do. I mean, the semiconductor business is good at the moment, and it's still got some legs in it, of course. Tesla's good. Yeah, anyway, I'll leave you to it to choose which handful of stocks that you'd be preferring to purchase. Obviously, the leaders have more range, and the followers have less range, but the followers can be a little bit safer to trade. Okay, cheers.